All right, thank you, Brandon. As we mentioned, residents all across the capital region still cleaning up from last night's storms. Rensselaer County, one of the hardest hit areas. We'll take a look at this massive tree. It's on 6th Street in the city of Rensselaer, uprooted and now resting on top of a house. Crews spent the afternoon cutting it up with chainsaws, and at last check, they were still at it. The house sustained some rather heavy damage. And when it rains hard, the Schoharie Valley worries about another flood. Less than 2 weeks ago, some homeowners got hit again. And now, 2 years after Hurricane Irene, there are new plans on the table to slow the flow of water. Matt Markham is in the newsroom tonight with more on that plan. Matt?
Well, hi there, Jerry. A sort of committee has been put together to explore the options because if recent weather is any indication, what they used to consider the 100-year flood may end up coming quicker. You really just want the water to go somewhere else.
Well, basically, we're never going to eliminate flooding. We understand that.
But if water flows into Schoharie again, Town Supervisor Eugene Milone hopes proposed projects could keep the liquid lower.
We can control the speed of the water. We can control how much area the stream has to attenuate its floods when they decide to come.
Leaders are now looking at plans for pumps in town or even ponds to hold the water when it rushes off the hills, as it did during Irene and in some places less than 2 weeks ago.
The water can spread out, slow down, soak in, and take a little bit longer before it reaches our populated areas.
Pete Nichols of Schoharie County Soil and Water Conservation District says marshes are like nature's sponge. Expanding them could give floodwaters another route to travel. It sounds like a big project. Is it a feasible plan, do you think?
It's feasible once you have your playbook in hand.
A study would examine where these ponds could go. They don't want to disrupt much in the way of agriculture, but could look at places where the soil is less favorable for farming and where water has a tendency to collect. Nearly 2 years after Irene, time now, says the Schoharie Town Supervisor, to devise a long-term plan. But the forecast has a challenge.
And one of the biggest problems I think we're going to face is acquiring the funds necessary to put all of this in place.
Well, there are some options which may be available to help drainage issues without draining taxpayers. We'll sort through some of them coming up at 6 o'clock.
You know, Matt, what about the creek and the stream being maintained? A lot of people questioned whether or not the debris in those streams left from Hurricane Irene could have made a difference.
Yeah, and that was a big issue just about 2 weeks ago in Middleburg, and it kind of depends on who you talk to. But the Soil and Water Conservation District says a lot of the work was done to remove rubbish, but after thousands of years of stream beds being carved, they were changed in just a matter of days. So the loss of some of that bank on those creeks, too, you know, they're working with what they've got here, and that's why they say that some of the collection pools on the side are really more important now maybe than they ever were. We'll talk again about some of those things at 6 o'clock, Jerry.
All right, thank you, Matt. We'll look forward to that.
Yeah.